And I'll tell you, my consulting practice in the past couple of years has changed so much as a result of working on this dialogic OD work and with the book.
Could you highlight some of the
well, just
how
for one.
it changed?
Oh, like, you know, I used to, as a consultant, I used to act more like a project manager. Like I would go into a meeting, I would have an agenda for that meeting, I would in some ways control the meeting, you know, and if they were getting off topic, I'd bring them back on topic and get, you know, have some kind of outcome I'd want. Now I go into a meeting, I hardly say anything. Like if they're talking to me, I'm not being effective. They need to be talking to each other. And what I'm doing is I'm sitting back and I'm paying attention to the patterns of communication, what are the ruts of thinking they're stuck in, what are they really trying to figure out for themselves right now, and then occasionally throwing in an idea or disrupting something habitually that they're thinking about, and following the plot, so to speak, of what is the system in at the moment. And so I just started a project about 6 months ago, and so my first meeting with the boss and his direct team, I said, so why are we here? And then I sat back, and for the next hour, they were like...
So I hear your group dynamic, your group dynamic history.
So I listened to them, you know, and I listened to them, and as I listened to them talk, I thought, well, they're never going to solve the problem the problems they have with the way they're thinking about it. So I threw in some challenges around that. Well, no, they didn't like that. So they kept coming back to the way they want to think about it. So that was the first meeting. So the second meeting we come back, and I go, well, so here's what you guys think you want to do now, but, you know, to make this happen, the people who work for you have to going to really care about it. So what do they really care about? I sit back. So then they have this big conversation about what the people really care about. And they end up, and so now they got a polarization. They got this thing they want to do, but they got what people really care about, right? So we got the two things. So the next meeting we come together, and I say, well, if this thing is going to work, we're going to have to figure out some way to connect these two things together. And by the end of the meeting we had, and we came up with a generative image that's now powered a transformational change process. And I would say, like, within 4 months, they're already, so much is changing so fast, they are like gasping. But that would never have happened if I had come in with my usual, okay, we need a vision, you know, what's the problem, or how, like, I'm in such a different mindset and such a different role in that group, and so much less. Oh, here's the other thing I did. So after the meetings, I came home and I wrote up my notes. And then I sent them back into the system.
Wonderful.
So yeah, you know, and so it's become this thing. My notes go back into the system. So then at some point they said, well, now we need to bring the next layer in, but they're going to be cautious and distrustful. So why don't we just give them the notes? So they could read exactly, how did we get to this meeting that we're about to walk into? It just laid this kind of ground, like, turned all the usual caution and story making and people figuring there's all these hidden agendas, and they just went, oh, we know why we're here. And boom, we're off and running.
Okay.